On the 21st of August 2017, the United States experienced a total solar eclipse. On the 31st of January 2018, there was a total lunar eclipse. In the book of Joel, in the Old Testament, there is a prophecy that the sun will be darkened in the latter days and the moon will turn to blood. Likewise, Jesus Christ prophesied of the end of the world with a sun darkening and a moon also darkening, turning to blood. John the Revelator, in his book of Revelations, also repeats this prophecy of the sun darkening and the moon darkening, turning to blood. In the years 2014 and 2015, we experienced a very rare occurrence of both blood moons and total solar eclipse. They happened on Jewish holidays. This is a rare event that has never occurred in this manner on Jewish holidays. As a result, many have wondered, is this the sign referred to in the Bible passages? Is this the sign of the end of the world? Solar and lunar eclipses happen on a regular basis, practically every year, having at least one of the other. And it's not too frequent to have both in the same year. And so how can we know when the signs are to occur at the end of the world? How do we know that the end of the world is in our generation? The answer is that we must know of a specific date in order to place these signs within. For the ancient Egyptians, there was one central key story upon which their religion was based. This story involved a family. The husband and father was named Osiris. The wife and mother was named Isis. Their son was named Horus. Osiris was the first king of Egypt, and thus the world. He was a good and righteous king. The people loved him, and they all prospered under Osiris's rule. Osiris's brother Set was jealous. He wanted to be king. He did not like having his older brother being the king. And so Set, in short, had him murdered. And Osiris was buried, but then resurrected and ascended into heaven. During that time, Set ruled on the throne over all the world, on Egypt. Knowing that Horus is the son and heir to the throne of Osiris, he found it necessary to try to kill him as well. Isis, still pregnant with Horus, was forced to flee from Egypt. While in exile, Horus was born and raised up. He was taught the ways of his father, taught the rituals by which his father was resurrected and ascended. He was he was educated by Thoth as to how to take back the throne from Set, his uncle. When Osiris was old enough, he returned to the capital and challenged Set for the throne. At the beginning of the battle, Set had wounded the eyes of Horus. Several battles ensued, and in the end, Osiris was victorious and restored the kingdom of his father, becoming the king of the world. The story of the Egyptians was recreated with every dynasty, with every succession to the throne of Pharaoh. And their rituals in the temple were symbolic of this main story. The eyes of Horus are symbolic. They are represented as hawk eyes. And as a character, it represents the phoneme for PTR, which, when we put the traditional Egyptological vowels, becomes the word Peter. Peter in Egyptian refers to a seer in the noun form. A seer is one who can see the past, see the present, and see the future. Horus was a seer. The right eye of Horus is symbolic of the sun and is represented by the Egyptian god Ra. The left eye is symbolic of the moon and is represented by the Egyptian god Thoth. You will notice, if you've ever watched the movie Stargate, that in the labor camp they had a golden metal disc with what they called Netiru Iru, God Ra. However, or God of the Eye, technically, it was facing inward so that it was the left eye. This was a mistake on their part. They meant to show the one on the left, which would represent the sun god Ra. And thus, when Horus starts the battle and his eyes are wounded, it represents solar eclipse and a lunar eclipse. The Egyptians were very knowledgeable about the heavens and the movement thereof. They knew when planets would pass through zodiac constellations. They knew when sunrise and sunset would be. They knew when the moon would be full or new. They knew when eclipses of the sun and of the moon would occur. They were very detailed. They were very knowledgeable. And they designed several different types of calendars. One particular calendar was for religion. In the religious calendar, the new year started at different days, according to our calendar system. And so they are random year after year. The Egyptians, however, designed their calendar to reveal the date of when the sign of the total solar eclipse at the end of the world would happen, when Horus would rise up to battle Set to take back the throne of his father Osiris. This date is to be on the new year of the Egyptian religious calendar. It is significant because there is only one time in all of history when this sign in the heavens would occur. And as a result, we now know the Egyptian prophecy for the end of the world. It is the Bible that took their prophecy of the signs of the end of the world from the Egyptians, both the Jews and the Christians. The Egyptians knew of the end of the world before all the other current religions of today. And they knew about it many, many millennia ago.